Hello and welcome everyone to AARP Wyoming's Video Voter Guide Series for 2024. I'm Tom Laycock with AARP Wyoming, and today we're joined by Martha Lawley, who's running for the Wyoming Legislature in House District 27, located in Big Horn and Washakie counties. AARP has a proud 40-year history of nonpartisan voter engagement and does not endorse or oppose candidates, nor does AARP make contributions to political campaigns or candidates at any level. Instead, we ask questions so our AARP members understand where candidates stand on important issues and can make their own decisions on Election Day. Today, we'll ask Ms. Lawley 3 questions, allowing for a 1-minute and 30-second response to each. Then we'll give her 2 minutes to make her final pitch to the voters of House District 27. So let's move into our first question. Over the last 2 years, the Wyoming Legislature has made providing property tax relief for its citizens a priority. In your view, what's the most effective way to provide relief while balancing revenue needs for our schools, counties, and other entities that rely on property tax to maintain sustainable funding?
Well, good morning, Tom. We did prioritize property tax relief in my first term. As you know, my first bill was a property tax relief bill. And we must continue to develop policies that keep property taxes low while ensuring that our local governments can provide needed services. I believe the most effective way to do this is to create a basket of different property tax relief options. Property taxpayers are not a one-size-fits-all in Wyoming. Some face different challenges than others. Relief that helps one group may not help another at all. So there are also important reasons to consider a basket of opportunities in the fact that there are important differences based on which county you live in. What's a reasonable reduction in one county? It may not be a workable reduction at all in another county. So these realities begin to demonstrate why there is not a one-size-fits-all state solution to this issue. That's why I have focused on working with others to create a basket of different property tax relief options for the benefit of taxpayers. And these include things like expanding the taxpayer refund program, capping future increases, doubling the veterans exemption, and an exemption for older citizens who are longtime residents of Wyoming. In my view, that is the most effective way to give relief while providing services Wyoming citizens expect from their local governments. We also have much work to do on long-term property tax reform, and it's important that we pass the constitutional amendment separating out residential property to give the legislature options it does not currently have. I'm committed to continue working on solutions. I have demonstrated that I can work with others to solve this problem.
Thank you. Our second question. Wyoming's population of those aged 60 and over grew by 47% from 2010 to 2020, while the state's entire population grew just 2%. We know 64% of all nursing home beds in Wyoming are paid for right now by the state Medicaid program. What do you see as the greatest barrier to helping our older adults age in their homes and communities? And what solutions would you propose?
Well, this is another important issue and really a unique challenges, particularly for our rural communities. An AARP study shows that 75% of older adults want to stay in their homes or communities to age. However, this aging in place, as it's called, it doesn't happen by accident. It requires planning, preparation, and adjusting for older adults to remain in their homes as long as possible. In my view, the biggest barriers we face is lack of coordination of this planning and preparation and adjusting at the local level. It's vital that community service providers work closely together for the benefit of older citizens. There are some funding gaps the state may need to address. Many of our communities have a lot of the pieces already in place. It's a coordination and working together issue in many situations. So there's many services such as public health with medication services and senior citizen centers that provide amazing resources that can help older Americans stay in their home and age there as they desire. They provide home health services, house cleaning, meal delivery, home safety evaluations, and transportation. Important issues that I believe policymakers should be giving a priority to are assistance with the cost of home modifications, addressing the inability of modification providers that will do modifications, education about the services available for seniors, and tools to help families know how to best support their aging loved ones. I thank you again, Tom, for bringing this issue to the forefront, because it is a really important issue in Wyoming, and it will grow in importance in the days ahead.
Our third question for today. Emergency medical services are not considered an essential service in Wyoming, and in some areas, ambulance services do not have sustainable funding sources. Over the last 10 years, Wyoming has seen 16 EMS providers in the state fold or consolidate with another service. What solutions would you offer for ensuring access to ambulance service?
This is an important issue for all Wyoming citizens, and the best solutions available for EMS services are found at the local level, and this is because this is a function of local government. I believe that government closest to the people is the best government. However, that does not mean that the state government has no role to play in providing options for local governments, and in some cases, support for those options. Many Wyoming counties began with volunteer EMS services, but as the needs exceeded the ability of the volunteer help, counties have been faced to transition to paid EMS services. The cost of these services have been difficult for counties to absorb. That's why they are looking for the best options on how to fund these services ongoing. Currently, counties have authority to raise funds for EMS services in several ways, including the creation of a traditional voter-approved special district for EMS services. Also, the possibility of creating a special EMS district by county commissioners' approval with any mill levies approved by the voters. This was part of a bill that passed in my first term, which I supported because I recognize the importance of this issue and the complexity of the issues the counties are facing. Also, another option that's available to local governments is to use additional 1-cent sales tax to fund EMS services. So I believe that Wyoming does have a role to play in incentivizing EMS services to operate in Wyoming and to help counties work together to create regionalized EMS services that they cooperate together in providing for their citizens. Working together, we can solve this problem and ensure Wyoming citizens throughout our state have adequate EMS services.
Well, thank you, Ms. Lawley, for answering our questions today. Let's close by offering you 2 minutes to explain why you're the best person to represent House District 27.
Thank you so much, Tom. It's truly been an honor to represent the citizens of House District 27. I've worked hard on a variety of important issues during my first term. A few of my accomplishments include leading the fight to pass a law banning biological boys from playing in women's sports, working alongside others to pass property tax relief, leading the fight on parental rights in education, expanding the definition of homeschooling, and establishing education savings accounts. I co-sponsored the Life as a Human Rights Bill, protecting the unborn. I helped pass Second Amendment protections. I supported Chloe's Law, banning irreversible sex change surgeries and medications for minors, funding of the 988 suicide hotline. I also supported Wyoming's energy sector and its workers and provided funds to aggressively push back on all forms of federal government overreach. I've also worked with many of the people of House District 27 who had issues involving state agencies. It's actually one of the favorite parts of my service. I believe people in Wyoming recognize the importance and the urgency of the challenges and the opportunities Wyoming faces. I have already demonstrated that I have the skills and experience to do the job. Wyoming needs thoughtful, conservative leaders who will work with others to solve problems and lead the way in responsible managing our economic opportunities on behalf of the Wyoming we all love. I have a proven track record of leading with integrity and competence. I sincerely thank the good people of House District 27 for allowing me the privilege, the really great privilege of serving them. I'm asking them to vote for me so I can continue to work on their behalf. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lawley, for your time today, and thank you to our viewers for joining us in this video voter guide. We encourage you to keep checking Cowboy State Daily and AARP Wyoming's Facebook page for more video voter guides in the days to come.